3 years ago, Pastor Him, all the witches in the world met in Chicago to hold their first conference in Africa. You know where they want to hold it? My city. My city. And their chief host granted the network interview and said the first universal conference of witches and wizards is going to hold in Benin. And I said, what? Where? They said, where I live. So I said, it's not true. Everybody says it's not true.
It's not true.
I didn't hear you.
It's not true.
One more time.
It's not true.
And the press said, what is not true? I said, they can't come. They said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to kill all of them. And they called the chief host and said, Dr. Idahosa said, you can't hold the meeting. He said, not even God can stop it. I will bring you the newspaper. He said, not even God can stop it. And the press said, listen to what this man said. He said, not even God. I said, he's correct. They said, he's correct. I said, yes. They said, why? I said, because God shouldn't waste his time. I'm here. Everybody shout hallelujah! I said, God, do your business. Leave this one to me. I can handle this. And I said, how many are there? He said, 9,800. So I said, good. Everybody said, good. I love challenges. Because challenges are scaffolding to higher heights in faith. There's time for people to find out whom you are in Orlando. It's time for people to know that God put you here in Orlando. If they cannot tell by your clapping, by your dancing, they can tell by your fire. Did you hear me? If they don't know whom you are, because you sing in the choir, because you pay your tithe, they can know whom you are when you raise the dead. Everybody say, fire, come down.
Fire, come down.
Say, fire, come down.
Fire, come down.
And the media men came to my house. They said, Dr. Idahosa, you are taking a risk. I said, what? They said, be careful. I said, people who take care don't take charge. And people who take charge don't take care. But my Bible said, be careful for nothing. But by prayers and supplication, make your request known to God. And they said, are you ready to face the camera to tell the whole nation what you are saying? And which I called this man. I said, call two of us. And they brought him to the studio, and they brought me to the studio. And the anchor man said, gentlemen, I don't want anyone to die among you. Chief host, are you really sure you are bringing 9,800 witches from all over the world? He said, yes. Dr. Idahosa, are you sure you are going to stop the meeting? I said, I'm not going to stop it. I've stopped it. I have stopped it. He said, are you ready? We want to grant you 1 hour to tell us how strong your God is and you tell us how your witchcraft is. He said, I'm ready. And I said, fine. But at the end of this program, you let me pray because I'm going to kill him. And they brought us to the camera. And they asked him, I said, they asked him, tell us how strong witches are. And he told us. For 27 minutes, he quoted from the Old Testament, from 6 or 7 books of Moses, from Egyptian books, from Israeli book, from British book, from magical book. And they said to me, did you hear him? I said, yes. They said, what do you say? I said, I have nothing to say. The meeting is cancelled. The meeting is cancelled. They said, why? And I opened my Bible. No divination spoke. No incantation spoke. Shall stand the presence of the righteous. And I began to quote from Leviticus to the New Testament. And at the end, I said, how many minutes more? They said 5. I said, it's time for me to kill this man. I said, sir, just answer me one word and I kill you. And everybody began to panic. I said, say yes or no. Are you a witch? He said, no. I said, get up. If you say yes, I kill you. But if you are not. And he said, I'm not. I stood up in the studio, network news, and I said, if you had accepted you will, I kill you. The next morning, he came to my office to collect a Bible. And they still met him. The media left us, and they still went to his house. With the meeting hold, yes. 7 days more. 3 days more. With the meeting hold, yes. And they came to me. Are you sure the meeting is cancelled? I said, no comment. If the meeting hold, I set fire in my Bible. It's cancelled. What I bind on earth is bound in heaven. And they said, what is your power? I said, my power is in the Bible. Whatsoever you lose on earth is loose in heaven. Whatsoever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. And they said, but 2 days more. I said, don't waste your time. The next morning, I went to the president's office. And I said, I've told the whole nation, and you are aware, that there's no meeting of the witches and wizards. He said, the day you were on TV, I sent telex to all the embassies in the world not to allow one wizard to come to Nigeria. Today, the Constitution of Nigeria is the only constitution I know in the whole world where it is written, no man should practice witchcraft. Because of what I said, they put it in the Constitution. You cannot practice witchcraft in Nigeria. What you bind on earth can be bound in heaven. If